So did you start a company in Netherlands or?
Yes.
Is that a very business friendly, country?
Yeah, I mean, I started the company, I think, in 20 minutes. I just went there. They even opened the bank account directly.
Wow.
You just go there. I think it's the most business friendly country I've ever been to.
What about that compared with United States? Because I own a small company here. I have a team of like 10 to 15 people. Just translation, very simple business. And there are a lot of freaking, bureaucracy and paperwork, but...
I also started a company here, and it was similar to the one in the Netherlands. It's my first year now.
Yeah.
I have to do my taxes soon.
Yeah.
Taxation is very weird in the United States.
I have an S corp just to give people like an idea. Like if you are what is the fucking word for it? So proprietor?
Yeah.
If you're a sole proprietor, you're a freelancer, you have any freelance business. If you don't make that much money, it doesn't even matter. Well, once you make, I would say over $50,000, put some money down, spend a few $100, set up a S corp. I would suggest S corp instead of LLC.
Yeah.
Don't call me on it. I'm not a tax attorney. If you take my advice and fucked up, don't sue me. But from my personal experience, get an S corp because the new California AB-5 law is kind of make it really hard for you to be deemed as a 1099 worker unless you're incorporated. You're a business-to-business transaction. And I heard there through the grapevine that S corp sometimes counts, but LLC don't even count. They will still have to treat you as an employee. Long story short, the most direct benefits you can get is you can save money on tax legally.
Yeah.
I would say, I'm not going to disclose how much tax I pay, but it saves me at least like a few $1,000s in tax payment without changing anything. Same income, just because you set it up. And this is after taking out all the business fees,
About LLC, I heard that it would be very, very hard to close it, especially in California. So if you open an LLC and for some reason you want to close it in the future, what
about as corporations?
Corporation is much, much easier.
Why is that? I have no idea.
Me neither. It's just that. Plus, California has like a unique fiscal system, I think. And everything is more expensive here. Yeah. So probably the government knows that people have more money here. Yeah. So they're trying harder to take the money away from you.
The AB-5 law really, really stirred up a lot of things because it was coming into effect like this year, January 1st. And for me as a translator, translators, they're gig workers like in nature, right? You as long as you're not an in-house translator, you do it gig from gig, just like being a writer or comedian or actor. But they have a few exemptions on the list, but now if you're a translator, your employer have to regard you as a employee, which means they're gonna pay way more money to pay for like unemployment insurance and payroll tax and whatever. They increase the cost of the employment, but you don't get as much.
What if you use freelancers? You cannot use freelancers?
That's the thing. Now, even if you're a freelancer, they have like 3 guidelines. Like, as long as you don't fall into the 3 guidelines, you have to be considered as an employee, which means if you perform any work under the direction of your employer, you're an employee. So if you translate, let's say you translate a small piece of article for me, it takes you an hour to do. But I have to tell you, hey, I need it by 9. Or if I correct your work. So you can't say you're not doing it under my direction, right?
What if you hire people that live outside of the United States?
That doesn't make that doesn't include. It wasn't included. Doesn't apply to this case. But if you like in California, and I think they're gonna expand the law to other states too. Like, and if your line of work require you to take a lot of like freelance gig, because not everybody want to be an employee. I don't want to be an employee.
Yeah, because you have to pay a lot of taxes.
I want to get out at like whenever I want. Start as corporation. It's gonna cost you $800 to $1,000
like
per year. Yeah. All the fees, but just do it, and you will thank yourself later. Because translators now are freaking out because they can't be exempted.
But like a lot of companies, especially big ones, I used to have a teacher in college, and he was a specialist for a corporation that was doing tax avoidance. So basically, big corporations hire these people as, I don't know, accountants or whatever they are, just to find loopholes to go around. So he was telling me something like, for example, you can sell a product from your country to another country. You don't pay taxes because it goes to another country.
I think Ireland has something to do with it.
No, for example, online companies have that pretty often. So for example, if you have a drop shipping website, do you know what?
I know drop shipping is. Okay, so for listeners who don't know what drop shipping is, drop shipping means you're selling products online, but instead of having inventory, instead of buying, let's say 1,000 pieces of clothes and store it in your warehouse, and somebody buy it, you send it to the person. You don't code any inventory. You set up a shop and then you contact your supplier. So when somebody purchases a piece of the product, the information will be directly sent to your supplier from, let's say, China. And then your supplier will ship it directly to the person, which means you don't have to spend money. All your money is going to be spent on marketing and setting up the shop. That's drop shipping.
Basically,